Good morning. Today we are going to talk about two foreign constitutions, the Chinese and the Russian one, compared to the Italian constitution. We have analyzed the first three articles of them since we think that they are the most important, so we have done a research about the general characteristics, then we found the similarities and the differences.
Okay, so now we're going to start with a little bit of introduction about the Chinese and the Russian constitution. The Chinese constitution is composed of 138 articles and it was approved on the 4th of December 1982. It's the fourth constitution in the country's history and it has five parts. The first one is like preamble. The second one is about general principles. The third one is about the fundamental rights and duties of citizens. The fourth one is about the structure of the state. And the fifth one, very big, is about the national flag, the national anthem, the national emblem, and the capital. A big part of the constitution is modeled after the 1936 constitution of the Soviet Union, but there are some significant differences. For example, while the Soviet constitution contains an explicit right of secession, the Chinese constitution explicitly forbids it. Also, while the Soviet constitution formally creates a federal system, the Chinese constitution creates a unitary multinational state. Also, the Constitution stipulates that the National People's Congress (NPC) has the power to review whether laws or activities violate the Constitution. But a difference with many Western systems is that courts do not have the power of judicial review and cannot invalidate a statute on the grounds that it violates the Constitution. Let's move on to the Russian constitution. It is composed by 146 articles and it was written at the Constitutional Conference, which was attended by over 800 participants. It was adopted by national referendum on the 12th of December 1993 and it came into force on the 25th of December of the same year. It's divided into two main sections. The first one is about the rights and duties of the citizens, the Federal Assembly, the structure of the government, the judicial power, and so much more. And the second one is about concluding and transitional provisions. There are three main things that you need to know. The first one is that at the moment of its official publication, it abolished the Soviet system of government. The second one is that the current constitution is the second most long-lived in the history of Russia, behind the constitution of 1936. And the third one, the last one, is that the writers of constitution took inspiration from the French constitution.
So, comparing the Chinese constitution with the Italian constitution, we can see differences in the content. The first article in Chinese constitution is similar to the first article of the Italian constitution. It says what is China, but different from it, Chinese constitution also states that social system cannot be interrupted by nothing. After that, while the second article of the Italian constitution is about the rights of people, Chinese constitution states there the sovereignty of people and how people can exercise this power, which in Italian constitution was written in the first article. At last, in the third article, the Chinese constitution explains how the Congress work and says that the local authorities are given the freedom to control. If we remember the fact that Italy recognizes local authorities is written in Article 5, while the third article is about equality between people.
Comparing the three first articles of the Chinese constitution with the Italian one, we can see some similarities. First of all, the first Chinese article states that China is a republic led by a democratic principle, and even though it is specified that the dictatorship principle is admitted too, we can say that the first two values, republic and democratic, are shared with the Italian mentality. Moreover, the article says that the state is led by the working class, emphasizing the importance of work in the Chinese mentality. This is a shared point with the Italian way of seeing life, since the importance that work has for us as a means of developing our personality is already expressed in the first line of our constitution. Another shared point is contained in the second article, where it is said that all the power in China belongs to the people and can be exercised in accordance with the provisions of law. This corresponds to the second comma of our first article, where the concept of law as a cage that protects the people who own and can exercise sovereignty is established. Moreover, the third article explains the methods that the people can use to exercise their power. The democratic elections are a corresponding method in Italy and in Russia.
Italy-Russian similarities. Comparing the three first articles of the Russian and the Italian constitution, we can see some similarities. First of all, both states declare themselves republican and democratic. Moreover, the second article of the Russian constitution states that man's rights and freedom are the supreme value, and their recognition, observance, and protection shall be the obligation of the state. Similarly, the second article of our Constitution recognizes and guarantees the inviolable rights of a person. Finally, from the third article of the Russian Constitution, we can see that in both countries the sovereignty belongs to the people, which exercises the power directly of through election and referendums.
We can now consider some differences between the Russian and the Italian articles. First of all, in the first article, Russia declares itself a federal state. While our constitution states that Italy is a unitary country where administrative decentralization can be exercised. A second difference is that Russia admits a second official name for the state, Russian Federation, due to its complex history and its administrative organization. Moreover, we can see that the second Italian article states that the Republic of Italy recognizes the inviolable rights of a person, but also expects the fundamental duties to be fulfilled. This part is missing, at least in the second article of the Russian constitution, where it is just said that the men's rights and freedoms are supreme values protected by the state. On the other hand, finally, the third article of the Russian constitution states that the seizure of power or usurping state authority shall be prosecuted by federal law. A corresponding part is missing in the first three articles of the Italian constitution.
A fourth similarity can be found in the second comma of the fifth article, where the division of function and powers between the central and local state organs is established in order to guarantee a better functioning of the system. This corresponds to the division of powers and to the administrative decentralization typical of the Italian government. Last but not least, we can see that there is a similarity between the first three articles of the Science and the Russian Constitution, since they both declare from the beginning that the description of the state is a crime.
So, compared to the first three articles of these constitutions, where should be written the most important thing for each country, we can conclude that these three countries have different pasts, and also the environment in which they wrote these constitutions were very different. And so people give value to different things, and that's why we have common values but put in different orders.